All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Meenakshi Sant and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav. The headlines. India receives record foreign investment during coronavirus pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says global narrative shifted from why India to why not India. Election Commission issues advisory on transfer and posting of officials in states where assembly elections are due next year. Enforcement Directorate attaches properties worth over 11 crore rupees of former Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah in connection with Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association scam. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.46% in the country. And UK imposes tighter coronavirus curbs amid confirmation of a new, more infectious strain. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene, and now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for more investment in research and development. Delivering the keynote address virtually at ASSOCHAM Foundation Week 2020 yesterday, the Prime Minister asked the Indian industry to increase their investments in research and development, especially in sectors like agriculture, defence, space, energy, construction, pharma and transport. Mr. Modi also urged all the companies to earmark a certain amount for research and development in every sector. He said the world is moving rapidly towards the 4th industrial revolution. He said challenges will come in the form of new technology and many solutions will also come.
दुनिया चौथी औद्योगिक क्रांति की तरफ तेजी से आगे बढ़ रही है। नई टेक्नोलॉजी के रूप में चैलेंजेस भी आएंगे और अनेक नए सरल सॉल्यूशंस भी आएंगे और इसलिए आज वो समय है जब हमें प्लान भी करना है और एक्ट भी करना है। हमें हर साल के हर लक्ष्य को नेशन बिल्डिंग के एक लार्जर गोल के साथ जोड़ना है।
The Prime Minister said this is the time to show capability, commitment and courage of Indian industry to the world. He called upon industries and businesses to put all their energies in the coming years to establish a self-reliant India. He said in 27 years, the country will be celebrating its centenary of independence, and what the country is going to deliver in the coming 27 years will not only determine India's global role, but will also test both the dreams and dedication of Indians.
आने वाले 27 साल भारत के ग्लोबल रोल को ही तय करने वाले इतना नहीं है, बल्कि ये हम भारतीयों के ड्रीम्स और डेडिकेशन दोनों का टेस्ट करने वाले हैं। ये समय भारतीय इंडस्ट्री के रूप में आपकी कैपेबिलिटी, कमिटमेंट और करेज को दुनिया भर को हमें एक बार विश्वास के साथ दिखा देना है। और हमारा चैलेंज सिर्फ आत्मनिर्भरता ही नहीं है, बल्कि हम इस लक्ष्य को कितनी जल्दी हासिल करते हैं, ये भी उतना ही महत्वपूर्ण है। साथियों, भारत की सफलता को लेकर आज दुनिया में जितनी पॉजिटिविटी है, शायद उतनी पहले कभी नहीं रही।
The Prime Minister said the government is constantly bringing reforms to promote manufacturing in India, and more than 10 sectors have been brought under production-linked incentive scheme. He said positive results have been witnessed in a very short period. Mr. Modi said the reforms in the country have influenced in changing the sentiment of the industry from why India to why not India in investing.
अब जो रिफॉर्म्स देश में हुए हैं, उनका जो प्रभाव दिखा है, उसके बाद कहा जा रहा है व्हाई नॉट इंडिया। अब जैसे पहले कहा जाता था कि जब टैक्स रेट इतने ऊंचे हैं तो व्हाई इंडिया। आज यही लोग कहते हैं कि जहां सबसे अधिक कॉम्पिटिटिव टैक्स रेट्स हैं तो व्हाई नॉट इंडिया? पहले रेगुलेशंस और रूल्स का जाल था तो स्वाभाविक रूप से चिंता के साथ निवेशक पूछते थे व्हाई इंडिया? आज वही कह रहे हैं कि लेबर लॉ में ईज ऑफ कॉम्प्लायंस है तो व्हाई नॉट इंडिया?
The Prime Minister said even during the pandemic, when the whole world is troubled for investment, record FDI and FPI have come to India as the world trusts the Indian economy now.
भारत अपनी जरूरतों को पूरा करते हुए दुनिया की मदद करने में भी सक्षम है। फार्मर से लेकर के फार्मा तक भारत ने ये कर दिखाया है। कोरोना काल में भी तमाम मुश्किलों के बावजूद भारत ने फार्मेसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड की जिम्मेदारी निभाते हुए दुनिया भर में जरूरी दवाइयां पहुंचाई है। अब वैक्सीन के मामले में भी भारत अपनी जरूरतें तो पूरी करेगा ही, दुनिया के अनेक देशों की उम्मीदों पर भी खरा उतरेगा।
On the occasion, the Prime Minister presented the ASSOCHAM Enterprise of the Century Award to industrialist Ratan Tata, who received the award on behalf of the Tata Group. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a virtual summit with his Vietnamese counterpart Nguyen Xuan Phuc tomorrow. During the summit, the two leaders will exchange views on wide-ranging bilateral, regional and global issues and provide guidance for the future development of India-Vietnam Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. In 2020, both countries continued high-level exchanges. Vice President of Vietnam, Ms. Dang Thi Ngoc Thin, came to India in February this year on an official visit.
Election Commission of India has issued advisory to Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal and Puducherry for transfer and posting of officers connected with conduct of assembly elections to be held next year. The ECI has advised that government officers directly connected with the conduct of elections must not be posted in her or his home district. It said the officers against whom the Commission had recommended disciplinary action in the past and which is pending or which has resulted in a penalty, or the officers who have been charged for any lapse in election or election-related work in the past should not be assigned any election-related duty. Further, any officer who is due to retire within the coming 6 months should not be associated with any election-related duty. It also said the officers posted on recommendation of the Commission during the 2019 Lok Sabha elections may be exempted from the transfer policy. Home Minister Amit Shah will hold a roadshow at Birbhum in West Bengal this afternoon. It will be held from Hanuman Mandir Stadium Road to Bolpur Crossroads. Mr. Shah will also visit Vishwa Bharati University at Shanti Niketan in Bolpur and pay homage to Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. Home Minister will also address a gathering at the university. On the first day of his visit to West Bengal yesterday, Mr. Shah addressed a rally in Midnapur. He expressed confidence that the BJP will form the next government in West Bengal with more than 200 seats. He alleged the Mamata Banerjee government is steeped in corruption, resulting in alienation of the masses.
दीदी, आज लाखों लोगों की हाजिरी में कहने आया हूं मैं, जब विधानसभा के चुनाव का परिणाम आए, परिणाम देख लेना, इस बार 200 सीटों से ज्यादा सीटों के साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने जा रही है.
At the rally, Trinamool Congress rebel leader Suvendu Adhikari joined the BJP in the presence of Mr. Shah. Apart from Suvendu Adhikari, 9 MLAs from the TMC, CPM, CPI and the Congress also joined the BJP.
In Assam, the BJP has retained power in the Tiva Autonomous Council. The counting of vote for the 36-member council was held yesterday. The BJP won 33 seats, while the Assam Gana Parishad got 2 seats. Congress won 1 seat. The Tiva Autonomous Council covered parts of Kamrup Metro, Morai Gaon, Nagaon and Hojai districts. The Enforcement Directorate has attached assets worth 11.86 crore rupees belonging to former Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah and some others in connection with Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association JKCA scam. while the book value of these attached properties is 11.86 crore rupees, their market value is about 60 to 70 crore rupees. The ED issued provisional attachment order under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and the attached properties are located in Jammu and Kashmir. 2 immovable assets are residential, 1 is a commercial property, while 3 other plots of land have also been attached by the Enforcement Directorate. Mr. Abdullah is being investigated over allegations of misappropriating 113 crore rupees that was sent to Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association by the Board of Control for Cricket in India.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated the Advanced Hypersonic Wind Tunnel Test Facility in Hyderabad last evening. The state-of-the-art facility is a pressure vacuum-driven enclosed free-jet facility with nozzle exit of 1 meter diameter. According to a defence release, this will simulate Mach 5 to 12. Mach represents the multiplication factor to the speed of sound, making India the 3rd country after the US and Russia to have such a facility. With this, India has become the 3rd country to have such a huge facility in size and capability after America and Russia. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said New India is capable of giving a fitting reply to anyone who attempts aggression against the country. Stating that the war patterns and strategies are changing, the minister asked the newly commissioned flying officers of the Air Force to be prepared for newer and emerging challenges like the cyberspace war. Addressing them after presenting them wings on completion of their training at the Air Force Academy, Dundigal near Hyderabad, he asked them to equip and update themselves with the emerging technologies. Referring to the recent standoff between India and China in the northern sector, he said, India has always been a peace-loving country, but if someone attempts to disturb the country, we are always ready to give them a fitting reply.
यह एक नया भारत है जो किसी भी तरह के ट्रांसग्रेशन, एग्रेशन या सीमाओं पर किसी तरह के यूनिलैटरल एक्शन का माकूल और मुकम्मल जवाब देने की कुव्वत रखता है। हम किसी भी विवाद का समाधान शांतिपूर्ण और बातचीत के जरिए ही निकालने में विश्वास रखते हैं। दोनों देशों के बीच मिलिट्री और डिप्लोमेटिक चैनल्स के जरिए बातचीत हो रही है। मैं आज के इस अवसर पर फिर से कहना चाहूंगा कि हम संघर्ष नहीं बल्कि हम शांति चाहते हैं, मगर देश के स्वाभिमान पर किसी तरह की चोट हम बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। हम किसी भी स्थिति का मुकाबला करने के लिए पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं।
Government has said that 48,28,000 paddy farmers have been benefited from the current Kharif marketing season procurement operations with MSP value of over 77,608 crore rupees. The Agriculture Ministry said over 411 lakh tons of paddy have been procured from Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Bihar. Out of the total purchase, Punjab alone has contributed more than 202 lakh tons, which is 49.33% of the total procurement. The ministry said approval was accorded for procurement of over 51 lakh tons of pulse and oilseeds of Kharif marketing season 2020 under price support scheme. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has said that BJP Raitha Morcha workers must counter the lies peddled out by the Congress party on the Farm Acts passed by the centre and state governments. Addressing the members of the BJP Farmers Wing in Bangalore, he said the protests by farmers are sponsored by the Congress party leaders. Pointing out that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is ushering in farm reforms to improve the farmers' income and yield per acre, the Chief Minister stressed that the Farm Acts are the steps in the right direction.
In line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Vocal for Local mantra, the Madhya Pradesh government has decided to introduce a new brand named Rag Bhopali to give a new international identity to Bhopal's handicrafts. Bhopal is popular for its zari, zardozi and jute work. Now this initiative is being taken to make this work available at the international level. Our Bhopal correspondent has filed this report.
Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has directed to take such initiative to make every district self-reliant. Bhopal Collector Avinash Lavania informed that the Union Ministry of Textiles has already decided to make Bhopal a cluster for Zari and Zardozi. An exhibition called Raag Bhopali is also being organized from 26 to 30 December in Gohar Mahal, Bhopal, in which goods of Zari, Zardozi and jute will be displayed in the presence of exporters of various cities including Delhi and Mumbai. Other programs including stalls of local cuisines will also be organized to connect youth and other sections of the society in the Raag Bhopali exhibition. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India receives record foreign investment during coronavirus pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says global narrative shifted from why India to why not India. The Election Commission issues advisory on transfer and posting of officials in states where assembly elections are due next year. Enforcement Directorate attaches properties worth over 11 crore rupees of former Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah in connection with the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association scam. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.46% in the country, and UK imposes tighter coronavirus curbs amid confirmation of a new, more infectious strain. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 95.46% as more than 29,000 COVID patients have recovered during the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry said the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 95,50,000. India's COVID recoveries have witnessed a steep exponential rise from 50,000 in May to over 95 lakh in December. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.45%, which is one of the lowest globally. The government has said that 33 states and union territories have less than 20,000 COVID-19 active cases. In a tweet, the Health Ministry said Kerala and Maharashtra together account for 40% of total active cases. India's cumulative tests for detection of COVID-19 have crossed the 16 crore mark. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan chaired the 22nd meeting of the High-Level Group of Ministers, JOM, on COVID-19 by a video conference in New Delhi yesterday. During the meeting, Dr. Vardhan informed that India's COVID-19 pandemic growth has dropped to 2% and case fatality rate is amongst the lowest in the world, which is at 1.45%.
अमेरिका का रिकवरी रेट 58% है, इटली का रिकवरी रेट 63% है, रशिया का रिकवरी रेट 79 यानी 79% है और ब्राजील का रिकवरी रेट 86% है. हमारा रिकवरी रेट दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा 95.46% है.
The minister observed the fact that despite festivals in the month of October and November, no new surge of cases were observed in this period due to comprehensive testing, tracking and treatment policy implemented on the ground. The health minister also expressed the need for an expeditious vaccination drive to cover all the target populations estimated to be around 30 crores.
दुनिया के बाकी देशों के मुकाबले हमने भी अपनी इंडिजिनस वैक्सीन को डेवलप कर दिया है. वैक्सीन किसी भी समय आने वाले जो हफ्ते हैं या आने वाले 1-2 महीने के अंदर हम इस स्थिति में आएंगे कि हम वैक्सीन अपने देश के लोगों को प्रायोरिटाइज करके हेल्थ वर्कर्स को, फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स को, 50 साल से ऊपर के लोगों को और आने वाले समय में अगले 6 से 7-8 महीनों के बीच में लगभग 30 करोड़ लोगों को वैक्सीन देने की हम स्थिति में होंगे.
The government has said that COVID vaccines will be introduced in the country only after the regulatory bodies clear it based on its safety and efficacy. The Health Ministry has come out with a series of frequently asked questions about COVID-19 vaccine on various aspects. Our correspondent reports that the ministry has advised people to receive complete schedule of COVID vaccine irrespective of past history of infection with COVID-19. This will help in developing a strong immune response against the disease.
Health Ministry has said that the safety and efficacy data from clinical trials of vaccine candidates are examined by drug regulator of the country before granting a license. All the COVID-19 vaccines that receive license will have comparable safety and efficacy. The ministry said it must be ensured that the entire schedule of vaccination is completed by only one type of vaccine, as different COVID-19 vaccines are not interchangeable. With Deepinder Anand Kumar, this is Rita Srivastava, AIR News.
A total of 1,139 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,15,000. Delhi government said that over 5,95,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 2,168 people recovered and 32 deaths were reported in the city, taking the toll to 10,251. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is 10,358.
In Uttar Pradesh, prevalence of COVID-19 infection continued to decline. The number of new cases, containment zones and hotspots have also come down in the state. State government is now gearing for rollout of mass COVID-19 vaccination. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Uttar Pradesh has become the first state in country completing more than 2 crore 23 lakh COVID-19 sample tests. The recovery rate of corona in the state has become 95.50%. During the last 24 hours, 1,226 new COVID patients were detected in the state, and during the same period of time, more than 1,544 people suffering from coronavirus have recovered, and as of now, total 5,47,631 people have got cured. Meanwhile, the preparations for COVID-19 vaccination is in full swing in the state. The training for vaccination at district level has started. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has instructed to ensure effective management of vaccination and security of COVID-19 vaccine. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
A high-level meeting convened by Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has given green signal for commencing the 10th and 12th classes from January the 1st. It was also decided to resume Vidyagama program for 6th and 9th standard. More from a Bangalore correspondent.
Based on the recommendations of the Technical Advisory Committee, this decision was taken to commence the offline classes for the higher secondary students. Remaining classes will be started after analyzing the situation for 15 days. Those studying and working in residential schools and staying in hostels will be tested for COVID-19. The classrooms and hostels will be disinfected. Everyone arriving to the school will undergo thermal screening. Health Department will depute its staff in the schools to ensure that the pandemic does not spread. Classes will be held only for half a day. Under Vidyagama program, classes will be held twice a week. Instead of midday meals, food grains will be supplied to the students. It is, however, made clear that those not desiring to attend the classes in person can continue to study through online mode. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has imposed tighter coronavirus curbs on millions of people in England as the country battles a new, more infectious strain of COVID-19. The number of cases in England has soared in the last 2 weeks because of a new variant of the virus that scientists said is up to 70% more infectious. Britain reported 27,052 new COVID-19 cases and 534 deaths yesterday. Although Mr. Johnson and his scientific advisors believe vaccines will still be effective, the Prime Minister said the government has to take urgent action. The government has reversed its plans to ease restrictions over Christmas. The UK PM said the country cannot continue with Christmas as planned.
As Prime Minister, it's my duty to take difficult decisions, to do what is right to protect the people of this country. Given the early evidence we have on this new variant of the virus, the potential risk it poses, it is with a very heavy heart, I must tell you, we cannot continue with Christmas as planned. As before, there will be no relaxation on the 31st of January, so people must not break the rules at New Year.
In our special series, Year-Ender 2020 today, we bring you a report on the initiatives taken by the NDA government for the empowerment of women. Women's safety and empowerment is an integral part of NDA government's policy making, governance and agenda. In a note to Nari Shakti on the occasion of Durga Puja in October this year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi cited the initiatives taken by his government for women empowerment.
नारी शक्ति हमेशा से भी सभी चुनौतियों को परास्त करने की ताकत रखती है। ऐसे में ये सभी का दायित्व है कि संगठित रूप से सभी उनके साथ खड़े हों। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के विचार यही है, संस्कार यही है और संकल्प भी यही है।
Director of Centre for Social Research, Ranjana Kumari, told AIR News that financial empowerment of women is necessary for gender equality.
आत्मनिर्भरता की बात हो रही है, मेक इन इंडिया की बात उस समय चली थी, लेकिन ये सब तभी संभव है जबकि ये 5 लिंक की जिनकी बात हम लोग हमेशा करते हैं कि क्रेडिट से लिंक करिए, मार्केट से लिंक करिए, स्किल से लिंक करिए, इंश्योरेंस से लिंक करिए औरतों की जो रोजगार है और साथ साथ में उनकी क्षमता वर्धन का काम हो, तब जाकर के फिर महिलाएं इस समय रोजगार के क्षेत्र में आएंगी और एक बार आर्थिक रूप से स्वावलंबी बन जाए तो फिर शायद महिलाओं को तमाम इस तरह के जो संकट से जूझना पड़ता है और खास तौर से हिंसा के संकट से वो शायद उतना उनको ना जूझना पड़े।
Our correspondent takes a look at how the NDA government has been working steadfast in its resolve amidst the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure dignity and welfare of women.
Women and Child Development Ministry has implemented Anganwadi services, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana and Scheme for Adolescent Girls under the umbrella Integrated Child Development Services Scheme as targeted interventions to address the problem of malnutrition in the country. Poshan Abhiyan aims to achieve improvement in nutritional status of children up to 6 years of age, adolescent girls, pregnant women and lactating mothers in a time-bound manner by leveraging technology, convergence and Jan Andolan. The third Rashtriya Poshan Mah was celebrated from 7th to 30th September this year through virtual mode. Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani urged people to share traditional recipes of their region and family to build a database of indigenous food items with high nutrition value.
भारत सरकार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी की प्रेरणा से देश के इतिहास में पहली बार एक अनोखा प्रयास कर रहा है। हमारी कोशिश है कि हम एक वेबसाइट पर एक अनोखी जानकारी हर जिले की लेकर आए कि उस जिले में वो कौन सी फसल है, कौन सा फल है, कौन सी सब्जी है जो एक संतुलित आहार का हिस्सा बन सकती है। और हमारी ये कोशिश अधूरी रहेगी जब तक इसमें आपकी भागीदारी न हो।
The ministry also signed an MOU with Ayush Ministry this year to control malnutrition through integration of Ayush systems under the umbrella ICDS program. Due to concerted efforts, recent data says maternal mortality ratio of India per 1 lakh live births has declined to 113 in 2016-18 from 122 in 2015-17 and 130 in 2014-16. An estimated 51.70 lakh beneficiaries per annum are covered under Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana throughout the nation. Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, which was launched to address the declining child sex ratio, has led to nationwide awareness and multi-sectoral intervention. The government is pushing for women empowerment in India in a big way, while the citizens need to play their role in enabling dignity, safety and welfare of women. With Anand Kumar, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The switch to BJP by former Trinamool Congress Minister Suvendu Adhikari along with other MLAs from TMC, Congress and left parties dominates the headlines of most newspapers today. TMC heavyweight leads 6 MLAs, 1 MP into BJP ahead of next year polls, declares the Times of India. The Indian Express reports Shah sets tone, slams Mamta, you will be alone by election time. The Asian Age adds Didi will be isolated, BJP to win 200 Bengal seats, says Amit Shah. And finally, the Times of India reports that Reliance Industries Limited will build what it claims to be the world's largest zoo in Gujarat's Jamnagar.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India receives record foreign investment during coronavirus pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says global narrative shifted from why India to why not India. Election Commission issues advisory on transfer and posting of officials in states where assembly elections are due next year. Enforcement Directorate attaches property worth over 11 crore rupees of former Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah in connection with Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association's scam. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.46% in the country. And UK imposes tighter coronavirus curbs amid confirmation of a new and more infectious strain. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.